Yes girl, I got you. I am going to try to do a crash course just for you. So in my adventure time video that you were commenting on, I used these brushes specifically. This one is a fluffy brush that I usually use on my crease, anything in the crease. This one's from Glamlight. This one's another fluffy brush, but it's more tapered. So I like doing more like detailed work, like in the outer crease when you're trying to do a V. This is a really good shape because it's already like tapered, you know. It's like narrow like that, blending out that V shape in the outer crease. This one is a pencil brush. This is good for detail work. I wanted to use this to pack that yellow, to like make the yellow more pigmented in like the inner crease. On top, you can also use this to deepen out your outer corners, like just detail work, like using like a darker color so that you don't bring that dark color way too high up and you're just kind of like focusing on the outer V kind of thing. These are both ColourPop, by the way. This brush is my go-to for highlighting. So I literally always use this brush. You can see how dirty it is, and it's like always gonna be white, a matte white, or it's gonna be like some kind of shimmer. And I like to use that too, just like to highlight my inner corners and my brow bones here. This one is from Morphe. This one is like a pencil brush. Use any pencil brush to really just use as a highlighter, like a detailed highlighter for your eyes. I have a bunch of brushes and I still have boxes of more boxes. But basically, I use all the fluffy brushes like so. I use them always on my outer crease. This is like the color that you want to have that blend like blown out here. Like in this look, I use this brush. This is like a fluffy brush. It's very soft. I like to say that there are 3 layers of the eye. There's like the outer crease, there's like the middle, and then there's like the inner V. So the middle, I like to use a taper one. Outer is always going to be your fluffy brush. Your middle one is going to be like a taper brush where it's kind of fluffy but it's like tapered, you know, like there's like some narrowness to it where you can kind of control where you put the pigment. And this, I like to put this like right under where that first color, your transition color, your crease color, that you're gonna like use that with a more pigmented color, like in the middle there. And then when you want to go in with like your detail colors, I like to use a more dense brush, like a tinier brush like this. Sometimes I'll go even denser with like a pencil brush, like so. Like I'll use these kind of brushes. Like they're dense, they're smaller than your crease brush. See the difference here? This is the one that I use for my outer crease here to darken that up. I use like a dark color and I just keep it in my V, in my outer V like that. And then you have your packing brush or your shader brush like this. And this is good for like shimmers and stuff, but I like using my fingers because I personally think that's like the best payoff. But you can use a shader brush, you can like squirt it, or you can spray it, have that shimmer be more pigmented. I have this brush literally for all the highlights. Any pencil brush that you like to use, but I've been using this forever and I love it so much. It's so good, and it's really a brush that you don't really need to like clean off because it's just like a highlighting. It does like one purpose. A very general high level summary of all the brushes that I use, and I like to get my brushes from Morphe at first because they're affordable. You don't need to spend so much money on brushes. So Morphe, I recommend. ColourPop. Morphe is like, it's kind of like hit or miss now. There are some brushes where it feels kind of scratchy after a couple washes. So the new Ariel X Morphe one, I heard is really good, so you can look into that. I heard some Amazon brushes are good. I haven't gotten any from Amazon. I choose my brushes by like their collections because this one is from Glamlight X Scooby-Doo, and I just had to get it. These are from Lunar Beauty. They have nice brushes as well. a lot of indie brand brushes. So like this is from like Laura Lee, Los Angeles, and a lot of ColourPop. I love the ColourPop ones because those are very soft. I think ColourPop is like your best bet for brushes. Crazy lighting here, but to wash your brushes you need like a kind of brush cleanser. It can be, you know, those hard ones that are like soap. You can get it off of Amazon. This is from Spectrum. They can come in like a hard, kind of like a bar soap kind of thing, or they can come in like an actual like liquid soap like this, and they usually come with like a rubber pad. You'll want to have this to clean your brushes against. And then I like to have like either a towel. I have a specific towel for brushes. I got it off of Spectrum, but I'm going to show you how I did it like before that special towel, because that towel has like specific brush holders, like brush slots that you can actually slide the brushes in. But I have like a towel just laid out like that, okay? And then what you want to do is you get your soap ready. So because I'm using a liquid soap, I finished the one in here already. I'm just gonna add the liquid soap in here, and then I'm gonna wet my brush a little bit. Make sure it's under cool water, not too hot, because you don't want to melt the glue. And then I'm gonna dab a little bit of the soap on there. So there's a little bit of soap, and I'm going to rub it on here. You want to scrub it until you see that there's no more pigment, there's no more shadow on there, and then you can run it under water and also scrub it underwater. Make sure it's all clean and like get all the water out, and it'll be clean like that. And then you will place it on top of your towel. So this is what the brushes look like. You want to keep them leaning and having their head on top of the towel, so that, you know, all water will drip down to the towel and, you know, it'll dry. And you want to keep this on, like keep it like that for overnight. The next morning when you feel it, it should be dry, and if it's wet, then, you know, let it sit a little bit more, but it should be dry enough for you to use it. I hope this was helpful. Sorry for the bad lighting, but let me know if you have any more questions. Thank you.